Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is episode 16 of our Transport Fever 2 Let's Play. If you guys are new to the series, definitely check out some of the older videos. And without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into episode 16. So, we are just taking a look at our Ferryhill to Ossett rail line. It's completely max capacity. It's running really well. We have 40 waiting up here. It seems that we get more traffic coming back from Ossett than we do from Ferryhill. But that being said, the line is running really well. Now, the reason that we're going to start here is that I've received a couple comments about the what I refer to as dueling train stations. And it's, I don't know, I don't love it. So I think we're going to clean this up and just make it one station that just passes right through. So in order to do that, just really quick, take a look. We actually still have a bus line running from Ossett. I'm curious to see. It's actually got a pretty good number of passengers, so I'm probably going to leave it running. So I guess you kind of have the option. You could take the bus or the train. I imagine the bus would be the cheaper of the two options. Whereas the train would probably be a bit more expensive. But either way, we're going to come in here and rework this. I'll also probably move this bus stop into the bus station that we're going to end up putting up here. So let's rework this. So I'm going to get rid of this. Get rid of all of these roads. And then get rid of both of those train stations. And then I think we'll probably back that out a ways. And then let's see, if I were to put in a nice straight rail line there. Just trying to figure out the best way to do this. So let's put the bus station in first. So if I were to swing this around, maybe put it in at this intersection. Just get it nice and lined up here. Something like that. And then let's come in here and edit this. We'll probably give it a little bit more capacity, and then we'll also add on another stop. Like that. Now, am I going to have enough space? I'll probably have to rework this rail line a little bit. Or do I want to have the buses come in and exit? That might be the better way to do it. So let's get rid of that once again. And let's spin this around. Maybe add that in there. Just gives us a little bit less room for expansion, because obviously I can only expand up. Now, is that going to be enough bus stops? Probably. So let's add an exit as well as an entrance just after this autosave here. Get rid of that. Add on an entrance, and then we can go ahead and connect these up like that. And now, if we grab our station, and I think we'll just kind of start to future-proof for longer trains, and we will make this a longer station, and we will connect it in right to that bus stop. Just like that. So it has decent coverage, but then obviously the buses are going to help out, and then I think we'll probably want to add in. I'm just trying to see how these are going. So we have a stop there. I kind of want to get a stop in over here. I just don't know what the best way to do it is. Maybe if I add a stop here and then shift this stop to there. That would probably work. So let's come into the clockwise. So this goes from High Street up to New Road. I'm going to get rid of that. And instead, I want them to go like that. And then on the counterclockwise, after Highfield, don't go to New Road. Come down like this. So now that's how we'll circulate. And then, let's see, they're all stopping at Ossett Sidings. So this line is going Ossett Sidings to Highfield. So we want it to be on platform 1. Nope. Maybe this one we want on platform 1. I'm not really sure why they're doing this loop here. Let me see. So if I get rid of that altogether. So now let's see. After... This line is going from Main Street to Highfield, so after Main Street, we want them to come up here. Oh, and I see. It's because they're entering and exiting, but we would want them to come down like that. And this one, after Highfield, come up here. Okay, so with that being the case, let's rework this station a little bit. So let's get rid of these, and I think I'm going to make these just normal entrances and exits. And now if I add those in like that, yeah, so now that's working. The question is, which line? Looks like this line needs to go to platform 1. There we go. And now this one is not going to go to New Road. This one's going to come all the way up here and go onto platform 3. So that is now our new bus layout. We can go ahead and get rid of those stops. Let's check to see how many buses we have on there. Pretty good numbers. I think I'm going to swap these out for the Gaganows and then give them each one more, just because we've added on another stop. So, a little bit further to travel. And now this is our rail station. So this is where we're going to connect in. So now, do I want another... I think I do want another platform. But with no pass-through, I don't really see a reason to have a pass-through here. We might need to add one in future, but if we get to that point, we can always come back and do so. I don't really suspect that we'll have anything competing with us as far as land on this left side of the station. So let's back this out. And now let's see how we want to connect this in. And we don't want a catenary on here, because this isn't going to be electric. I would love for this to come out straight and fairly flat. And then it can connect in there. It's going to drop speed, which I don't love. So why don't we back this out even further? Connect that in like that. So now we're at 75 this whole way. And this is just a single track on here now. And now let's bring this up here. So we'll double track it. And then we could probably single track it just right before this bridge. So if we branch that off. So we'll bring that out to 75, and then we'll branch that in like that. Okay, so now this needs to be cleaned up just a little bit. So let's grab our brush here. We'll clean up that grass. Maybe add in just a little off-color grass throughout here. Just to kind of blend it. that like it was never even there. And then if we come over here and grab the ballast, we should be able to clean this up to make it look pretty good. And then we'll come back here with a little bit of grass, kind of blend in that ballast. And now I think that looks quite good. So now we have a good cross. I don't need to put a cross in here because they're going to come back, although this line is probably going to need to be doubled up at some point, and that point might be now. So let's grab this track. We can tie that in there. It's going to be 75. Pull this one down, and then we're going to have single track through the tunnel. So we can just connect those up like that. And now let's get a one-way signal there. And I don't think I really need one here, because this is just going, you know, in its own direction. We can add a one-way signal there. I'll add one set to protect that road. And I think I'll actually remove that one. So we'll have a set to protect the road. And then we'll have a signal there to stop them from going onto that merge. So now they're going to come out of this tunnel. I think we'll leave this whole section single track. And now, right before this bridge, I might make this land portion just a little bit longer in order to have a passing loop area right here. It's going to be 30 miles an hour. Is that going to be long enough is the question. Let's see if I could bring it up to 40 before this bridge. And whether that would be enough space. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring it up to 50. So this will be a 50 mile an hour merge. And then I'm actually going to double up this tunnel, because it's a pretty short tunnel. So we'll bring this out to max speed, whatever I can get. So it looks like I can get 46. And now we have a doubled up tunnel here. So we'll put a one-way signal right there. And then we will connect this up. And we'll get a one-way signal there. And that will be our little passing loop area before we hop onto this bridge. Which will probably... we could probably get another one in here. So we'll branch that off at 50. Bring this down, and then right before this bridge, we can do the same. Because I'm thinking that I'm going to make this whole journey one line with 2 trains on it. And then we should be able to pretty much double track all the way up here, all the way up to the station. So I think that's what we're going to do. So we will add in, we'll put our merge like right about here. And now we can just double track this all the way down. Go right by that oil well. And bring it down here. And then why don't we get our, let's see if we can get our merge in. So that'd be 68. Why don't we merge right before this this road. Or right after, rather. So we'll do something like that, just so that we get max speed. And then we'll want a signal there. Maybe a set there. A set protecting that road, so I'm actually going to shift those down so that they're more in the middle. Let's see how much further we have to go. Pretty far. So we'll get a set there. There. And then we will get our protection signal right there. Okay, so now all of this track is doubled up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get this rail line. Ferryhill to Ossett has problems, so let's get rid of that. And then if we go on to this rail line, I'm actually going to sell this train. So we're going to sell that. We're going to get rid of that line altogether. And now we're going to add a station in there. We're going to have it come all the way up here to Ossett. And then on its way back, or all the way up there to Hodston, rather. And then it's going to hit Ossett on its way back as well. And now let's wait for full load for 60 seconds. That's what we're doing with all of our trains, all of our passenger trains. So we'll do something like that. And now this isn't Ferryhill to Ossett anymore. This is Ferryhill to Hodston. There we go. Okay, so now where's that train? It's right there. I forget which rail depot this came from, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy the locomotive. Oh, I completely forgot that we had the BR-75. That's a great train. And it's also pretty cheap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy that, and I'm going to put it on that line. And then if we let this run, what I can now do is edit both of these so that I make sure that I'm using the same train. So we're going to have BR-75s. Let's get rid of these passenger cars, because the BR-75 can go 56 miles an hour. So we can't use the compartment car anymore. We have to use these six-wheelers. So maybe 98 capacity. Yeah, I mean, this isn't much more expensive. These are significantly more expensive than those, so maybe 84 capacity for now. And we can make both of those red. And now we have the BR-75s on there. They're not the most powerful train. So if we come on here, the BR-75 has 789 horsepower and 85 kilonewtons. So it's better than the PLM, and it goes faster than the PLM, but it is nowhere near the A35. So these are truly passenger trains. They are not... They're not good for freight. They just don't have the capability. And I'm not sure where that train... I'm not sure where he's going. I'm not sure where he's going to change around. I wonder if once he gets here I can flip him. Because I'm really not sure where he's going. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Let's see if we can figure out where he was going to go turn around. I mean, was he really going to go, like, all the way down to one of these stations to turn around? That would have taken him ages. And I'm not sure why he couldn't just get on right there. Oh, it's because that actually can't connect. So why don't we add this in? just so that we know that he can get into this station. Probably should have checked that before I set that up, but no harm, no foul. I'm just going to speed this up and watch him for a sec, just to make sure that he gets in. So after this little block here, should make his way up and stay on this left track. No. Why would he do that? I'm really confused. Because he's on the wrong platform. So I'm just going to do something like that for now. Let's see if we can get him to get onto that line. Yes, we can. And now we can get rid of that track. Okay, so he's on the right line now. He should be fine. I'm just going to go ahead and delete that so that we don't do anything else ridiculous. So he's got 60. Heading down right now at 56 miles an hour, which is awesome. And then this train is heading up. So they're not quite as spaced out as ideally I would like them to both kind of meet in Ossett, but that's okay. That is okay for now. And it looks like I'll be interested to see who gets on this bridge first. Yep. Okay. But I think that that's going to work really well. We have a ton of passengers that want to come up here to Ferryhill. We got a good number that want to head back down towards Ossett, and I think that that's going to work really well. The only thing to consider now is this PLM is going to be significantly slower than these passenger trains. Now, hopefully there's enough space on the line for them to stay spaced out, so we'll just have to kind of keep an eye on that. Now, another line that I would love to get the BR75 on is actually this line, the Yateley to Ferryhill line, because this is a really long journey for that train to make. And I think speeding it up, it's also getting really good passenger numbers. Like, there's 33 waiting here. Let's see if we can find the train. It's got 50 coming back, so it's almost at capacity. So I think we're going to come in here and replace this. And go up to maybe 70 capacity. And now we should be able to get some good speed out of this train. If I can click on it. Let's see what we got. So it's going 49, right about 50, and it's on a climb too, so it's actually doing really well. And hopefully that improved speed will help this line perform. And there shouldn't be any issue with these kind of backing up on one another. The A35, while it is much more powerful, is pulling a ton of weight and is capped out at 50 because of the cars that are on that line. Okay, so now there are some other passenger lines that I would like to work on. One of them is basically our main line. So we currently have a Tenterden to Ferryhill line, and we have a Tenterden to Carshalton line via Skelton, and then we have a Carshalton to Hythe. So I think what I want to do is make a Hythe to Skelton, and then a Skelton to Ferryhill. So 2 3-stop lines, I think, is going to be the way that we want to do that. With that being said, I just want to see what trains we have on here. So we have a PLM moving the Conmat. Let's see what lines we have on here. We have A35s on the fuel, and then PLMs on both of these. So I think I'm going to replace this Conmat train with an A35. just so that we keep our speeds up. Something like that. I think that'll be good. We have plenty of con mat here to be moved, so that shouldn't be an issue. Now, what other trains? So our passenger train on here is a PLM. So we're going to sell that. So let's come in here. Carshalton to Hythe. And we can sell that vehicle. And then we can actually delete that line altogether, and we actually got our first planes. So that is awesome. Okay. Now, what else do we want to do? We want to come on to this line, the Tennerden to Carshalton line. And we want to get rid of Tennerden. And then that second Skelton. So this is now going to go up to Hythe. Nope, not that stop. It's going to go up to Hythe, which it can't get to, interestingly enough, because that's actually not connected in. And then it's going to come back to Carshalton, and then go back to Skelton. And just make sure that that's going to work. Yeah, so it's going to start here. It's going to come up to Carshalton. I would love to make these platforms longer. Let me just see how long this is. So this is 240. That's 320. So it's somewhere in between. So I'm just going to come in here, and we are going to edit this a little bit. How much room do we have? We have a pretty good amount of room. So I'm just going to back that out a little bit. And now let's come into here. And let's get something like that. Although we actually have nice new platform covers. So we'll just add those in on that side, because those look nice. Now, we need to connect these in. So those are going to connect like that. And now let's get this to connect in at, let's say, 30. 30 and 30. And then we need a cross in here, maybe at 40 miles an hour. And then we don't need those signals. And we don't need that signal either. Okay. So now that this is set up, let's see if the... So at this stop, go to platform 3, and then this isn't connected in here either. So let's get that connected in. Like that. So it is getting back into here. It's just not getting back onto this track. And I wonder if it's because something is messed up here. Does it not have the ability? Yeah, I guess it probably doesn't, because those are one ways. So it can't come this way. And it can't come into here. So let me just see how I want to fix this. Let's see, if I delete that out. and do something like that. Oh, nope, wrong one. Because it wants to go into the same platform here. What if we put you on platform 2? So that will work now. That line is functioning. I just kind of made a mess. Now, one thing that I would love is if I could move this onto the other side. And then we could also delete this track. I don't really see a need for it. So we'll get rid of that. And then we'll get rid of this track as well. And now we just need to take this track down. Let's see where we would want to merge it in. Maybe right here. So if I add that in there, we'll get rid of that signal. We don't need that one. Also don't need that one, because I just want them to come straight through. And now if we grab a track, do a 30-mile-an-hour merge there, and then jump it off here, also at 30. And connect that in. And now we need a one-way signal there, and a non-one-way signal there. So now what is messed up? Yeah, these two trains. I'll deal with that in a minute. But now Carshalton to Norton, at Carshalton, hop on to platform 3. And that works. Okay, so now which trains are messed up? Okay, so both of those trains. These trains are going to be replaced, so let's see if that fixes them, with A35s. And let's see what the capacity is on these right now, 72. So let's bring it up to like 84, maybe 98. And now let's see if we can get these trains to figure themselves out. So maybe if I just flip them both around. Where is this one? So this one's coming down here. Now, unfortunately, that kind of means that they're not going to be centered. They're not going to be staggered, rather. So I'd love to find a depot around here that I could use to add on another train. So I might, let's see. I might sell this one. And let's see, we have 7 cars on there, so I'm going to add on another train here. So let's grab an A35 and 7 cars and add it on to this line. Now let's see, that should just come out and get on that line. And now they should be fairly staggered, I think. Because this one's going to get almost all the way down to Carshalton before it gets itself turned back around. And then this one's coming up, and the question is, will it go to Hythe or to Carshalton first? Or, sorry, to Skelton first. So now this is functioning. Let's see. Let's see how we want to do this. I'm just curious to see where this one goes. I kind of hope that it heads up to Hythe, but I'm not sure. Nope, it's going to go right into Carshalton. That's okay. That's not the end of the world, because this one is already on its way back. And now this station is actually going to be fine, because we're going to use the other platform for this line. So now let's come up here. We actually need to rename this. So this is now Tennerden to Hythe. Now this one, Tennerden to Ferryhill, this is actually going to be Skelton to Ferryhill. That actually reminds me. This line is not Tennerden to Hythe. This is Skelton to Hythe. Okay, so now let's come back up here to this line. And let's see what we want to do here. So, I'm going to get rid of that. So it's going to go from Ferryhill. Pause the game real quick. This is going to go from Ferryhill to Tennerden. All the way down to Skelton. And at Skelton I want it to go into platform 1. We're going to have to change the color on this. To maybe like a dark red. Doesn't really conflict with anything on this line. What about up here? Nope, that's okay. It's going to go to Tennerden again. And then it's going to run all the way up here. Into here. And those are two different reds. I think that that will be okay. So now this is going to wait for 60 seconds for passengers. I think I need to make that edit on the other line. And now, yeah, Skelton to Ferryhill. And now it's coming here. Where is this train? So it's right here. So I'll let this run. And we'll take this train and we will replace it. And we are going to put A35s on here. And they're going to be 98 capacity, just like the other ones. And we'll get that on here. And that should run really well, I think. So, no one is here. It looks like all the passengers left. So this train's going to pick up a few, I imagine, before it leaves. Maybe not, though. Yeah, not a single one. But it's going to take some time for these lines to kind of sort themselves out. See that we also have a little issue here. So I think making this a little bit longer would help, giving a little bit more queuing distance. But let's see how the passengers are looking here. So Skelton to Askern, that's going to need a new train. And then these two lines are kind of figuring themselves out. And this just got a full load heading up to Hythe, which is great. And this has a full load coming back. So those are pretty well spaced out. I could probably even get a third one on, but probably not right now. And let's take a look at where my passenger train is. Not quite sure. So let's come in here. Where is this train? Okay, so it's all the way down there. So I'm going to duplicate it. And then that's going to come out up here. And now I would love it if it would head up towards Ferryhill, but it probably won't. So either way, it can kind of do whatever it wants. But let's just see. Yeah, it's going to head down. That's okay. Not the end of the world. Might as well just help these get a little spaced out and send this one back on its way. But I think that that's going to work really well. So now, let's take a look at this train, which I imagine doesn't quite have the capacity. I guess it does, actually. This little train is doing really well. It's just, you know, chugging along 25 miles an hour. But it probably could use another... And these are all just queued up, that's fine. It could probably use another car, just because at Askern, it's really, there's a lot going on here. So why don't we replace this? I'm not so sure that the PLM is the way to go. This train is just so cheap. But, I don't know. We will have to see. We'll have to see how that goes. So let's just think about our passenger lines now. So now we've got a BR75 running on this line. We have A35s running all down our main line, all the way up to Hythe. I believe we have a PLM on this line. We do, with 105 capacity. I would love to take a look at this line and see how the PLM stacks up against the A35. Or the BR75. So the BR75 is more powerful, and it's not much more expensive. But then I'll lose my first classness, my first class illusion. But I think we'll go with a BR75. So let's replace this. We'll get a BR75. And we'll go up to 112 capacity. Because we do have a ton of passengers down here that want to head up. So that should work, and I think that this should be able to handle the slope fairly decently. I think, anyway. We'll have to see. I think this is going to cap out at 50... Let's see, these go 62... 56? Yeah. So we'll just kind of have to see how this does. Whether it can get up to 56 or not. Something tells me it probably won't make it to 56, at least on the uphill. But it's still accelerating, so it's not the end of the world. It's just this is a pretty hard pull for this train. This train is not really designed to pull massive numbers of weight. Okay, we have an issue. Okay, and this is an issue that I have been thinking that we were going to have for a while now. So we're really going to need to figure out a better way to do this curve. So what I'm going to do I'm just going to do that for now. And that, just so that I can get these trains out of the way. Okay, so now that they're out of the way, we're going to rework this. And then we're also going to bump this back to kind of where it was. Maybe we'll do like a 55-mile-an-hour merge, just to give them a little bit more space. Okay, now this is the one that we kind of need to figure out. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to curve it here, and then give it some space. And then merge it in there. And now let's get rid of these signals, and we'll add in a one-way signal there. And then let's see. So essentially, if there's a train on here, I want it to be able to get off there and get on this bridge. Might be time to double up this bridge. So why don't we do that? So let's grab another track. And I think we're going to get a new bridge in here as well. So let's take that back. Could get a arch bridge. Kind of like that. It's limited to 56 though, which I don't love. This is 75, which I like. So let's go with that. And then we'll pull this onto it. And I actually need to switch these. So I'm going to get rid of this so that I can take this and pull it into there, and then we'll get that bridge. Okay, and now these lines report the problems. What are the problems? Yeah, so they can't connect, and it's because there's no merge here. So let's see, that will wait there. Let's get one-way signals there. And then I might shift these ones to right before the bridge. Okay, and now we have a nice new fancy bridge. And now let's come in here with a little cleaning up of what we just did. So we'll get like something like that. Grab a little grass. Just kind of feather that in like that. And then we can grab this. Just kind of feather that in like that. And now we have a new awesome bridge. And this should function a lot better now because now they have proper queuing space on this changeover. You know, you should be able to fit a whole train in here, which will be good. That's exactly what we want. Okay, so let's see how these trains are running. I mean, they're running great on the downhill. Tons of passengers. 240 want to go up to Skelton. What about here? 110 want to go to Hythe. Only 13 want to go up to Ferryhill. I wonder if that's because this train just left with 65. So we're not getting quite the passenger numbers on this end of the line. I'm curious to see where our other train is. Oh, it's right here. About to come back down. So that's actually a pretty good spread. This bus line could use a little rework. So why don't we have them come down here, and then they'll stop there, and then they'll stop here, and we actually just got some new stuff, which is great. So let's go into this line. Tennerden bus to train counterclockwise, so it's going this way. So after North, come to Church, and then after Church, come up here, and then on this one, after Queen, come up here, and after Church, come down here. And we actually just got new buses, so why don't we take a look at those. 22 miles an hour compared to 25, but it does carry one more, so this is actually perfect for in the city. So let's get some of these up here in Tennerden. We'll add on a couple more. And then let's look at what we just got as far as trains. We just got our first electric. The Crocodile, which goes only 47 miles per hour, but the horsepower is massive. So 2,200 and 150 torque. Compared to the A35, which is our best train right now. So nearly double the horsepower and a significant more amount of torque. I have never once used the Crocodile, but I kind of want to. We might have to think of a way to get the Crocodile involved somehow. Obviously, it's not a passenger train, it's for freight, and I wonder, maybe one of these long deliveries coming in here to Skelton, you know, if we made one of these platforms longer to accommodate a much bigger, heavier freight train, that could be interesting. But it looks like we're definitely going to go with planes here in the next episode. So where we're going to put those, I have no idea. But we are definitely going to be using them. And now I think our last passenger train, we might as well give it an upgrade. It is this one, Reading to Hoddesdon. Let's see if we can find it. Let's look at the passenger numbers first. So Hoddesdon to Reading, 13 wanting to go down there. I imagine that this is our passenger train. Maxed out at 43 capacity and going 31 miles an hour. We have a pretty good number of passengers up here at Reading. So let's come in here. Let's give them a new train. I think we're going to go with the BR75. It's cheap, it's fast. Maybe something like that. 73 capacity. Might be overkill, but we have so much money at this point that it's okay. So let's get that on there. Now we can come find it. That looks really nice. And then that gives me an idea, which is on these trains, I want to go back to my first class carriages. So I'm going to remove the last two and add on 2 of these so that we get the first class action going on there. And then I'm going to do the same here. Just looking for Skelton to Hythe. Get rid of those. Add on 2 of these for our first class first-class trains, or first-class carriages. I like that. So these are the economies, and then right here at the back, we got our first-class carriages. I think those look really good. And with that, guys, a major upgrade episode is in the books. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really liked kind of bringing up a lot of our lines, reworking some of the stuff that's been kind of nagging for a while, and getting some of this stuff more up to date. You know, so it looks nice, it functions. I think these passenger lines are going to do really well. I mean, the amount of people that want to go to Skelton right now is pretty ridiculous. But that's not a bad thing. I think it's going to function really well. And I think overall we're doing really well. And as I say that, we just have this... Why these trucks don't want to use the lane that I've given them? I'm really confused. I want to watch these and just make sure. Yeah, so these ones did it. It's just these two that didn't want to do it. Not sure why that's the case. But we have tons of ore down here. We just need to pick it up. Anyway, really excited for how this series is going. I hope you guys are enjoying it. If you made it this far and you enjoyed the video, definitely consider subscribing to the channel, leaving a like and a comment. Let me know what you want me to try in the future. I love getting the comments. They make my day. Love reading them. And until next time, I hope you guys have a great day. See you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.